Britney Spears needs some serious help right now. Fans are deeply concerned for her well-being. Britney Spears has once again set the internet on fire, literally and figuratively. Fans were left stunned after her latest post where she casually admitted she burned down her bathroom. In the clip, she's dancing in a plunging cheetah print bodysuit near a fireplace, a candle dangerously kind of flickering just inches away, and she drops the bombshell. "I burned my bathroom down today, ran like a maniac back to the house, and honestly, I'm tired of making sense of things." Now, we all know Britney has always had a flair for the dramatics, but this isn't just quirky Britney, this is terrifying. And sadly, it's not the first time something like this has happened. Back in 2020, she admitted she managed to burn down her entire home gym. How? Well, 2 candles. That's it. She said she just left them burning and one thing led to another. The result? A gym in ashes. Now, she brushed it off at the time with her usual, "oops, I did it again" kind of energy, but burning down your own house isn't exactly an adorable pop star quirk. It's very dangerous, reckless, and honestly just a huge red flag. Fast forward to earlier this year, and Britney shared yet another frightening accident involving fire. This time with her fireplace. She says it blew up in her face, leaving her without eyebrows, eyelashes, and even parts of her hair. Think about that for a second. That's not just an accident, that's a near disaster. Britney is literally walking through flames and documenting it like it's just another Tuesday. But it's not just about the fire, it's about the bigger picture. Britney's social media presence has become a window into her unraveling mental state. The dancing videos, the strange captions, the emotional overshares, they're more than just eccentric behavior. They look like cries for help. One moment she's twirling around like nothing's wrong, and the next she's writing things that sound like they came straight out of a diary meltdown. And millions of fans are watching it all unfold in real time. People close to Britney have reportedly tried to step in. We've heard about interventions, late night phone calls, and worried family members, but none of it sticks. Every attempt to help her either fizzles out or gets shut down. It's like watching someone trapped in quicksand, waving their arms while everyone around them argues about how to pull them out. And here's the thing, Britney isn't just any celebrity, she's Britney Spears. She's been in the spotlight since she was a teenager, picked apart, criticized, controlled, and even legally stripped of her independence for over a decade under her conservatorship. That's years of trauma, manipulation, a total lack of freedom. Is it any wonder that she's unraveling now that she's finally quote unquote free? I mean, this isn't a cute chaos of 2007, when she shaved her head and everyone laughed. This is deeper, this is darker, and it feels like we're kind of inching closer to another tragedy that could have been prevented. Britney doesn't just need space, she doesn't just need fans rooting for her in the comments, she needs actual help, like professional, medical, compassionate help. The scariest part is the blurred line between performance and pain. She's still giving us the show, costumes, dancing, theatrics, but behind the glitter and Instagram filters is someone who seems to be spiraling. Every fire, every cryptic post, every emotional collapse is like a warning shot. I mean, how many warning signs are we supposed to ignore, right? Britney Spears doesn't need more gossip columns. She doesn't need more headlines dissecting her every move. What she needs is safety. She needs stability. She needs people who will protect her, not exploit her, because right now the signs are flashing bright red, and if no one steps in, I mean, the next headline about Britney might not be something anyone wants to read. At the end of the day, this isn't just about a pop icon. This is about a human being whose struggles are playing out in front of the entire world. If we don't start talking about those struggles seriously, Britney Spears might not just burn down her bathroom, she might burn out completely.
Recently, reports have come out saying that Britney Spears adopted a little girl. In a post shared to her Instagram on Saturday, July 11th, Britney herself claimed that she had adopted a beautiful baby girl. Her name is Lennon London Spears, the singer added at the time, captioning a video of herself dancing in a pink leotard and wide-brimmed hat. Lennon today has on an adorable dress. It says, "I'm new here." Now, Billboard, however, has since confirmed that Britney did not actually welcome a new child through adoption. It appears that she might have just been joking around with everyone, as the caption to her post had a bunch of winky faces. Now, some people have thought that maybe she meant that she was adopting a dog, but no, Britney isn't adopting anything or anyone. Some fans doubted this though, as there is a baby carrier in the background of a recent Britney IG dance video, but TMZ has confirmed with sources that she uses the baby carrier to transport her baby dolls, and sometimes she travels with them too. Now, according to sources quoted by TMZ and E! News, Britney wasn't being serious about the whole adoption thing. She's just messing with people, one insider confirmed. She hasn't adopted a child, and she hasn't taken in a new pet either, despite some speculation that she might have been talking about a puppy. Now, Britney already has 2 sons, Sean and Jaden, from her marriage to Kevin Federline. They're grown now, both in their late teens, and while she said a lot about them over the years, the idea of her her having more kids hasn't really come up in a serious way, and she's also single right now. Now, this isn't the first time Britney has caused concern over her social media posts. In one conspiracy a couple years ago, people claimed that she was being photoshopped not only into her own pictures, but into photo posts made by her famous friends. Her friend Paris Hilton shared a photo of herself and Britney while they celebrated the birthday of a mutual friend, Kate Hudson, in early January 2023. Now, it wasn't long before people flocked to the comments section of the Instagram post to accuse Paris of photoshopping Britney's face into the image, with its smoothed out appearance raising suspicion. And not to mention, at one point in time, Britney had been posting some concerning videos of her dancing with knives. Now, authorities performed a wellness check on her after fans expressed concern over her, as she posted a video on her Instagram writing in the caption, "I started playing in the kitchen with knives today." Now, she added that fans shouldn't worry and that they weren't real knives. She posted again later saying, "I know I spooked everyone with that last post, but these are fake knives that my team rented from Hand Prop Shop in LA," she wrote in an Instagram caption beneath another dance video. "These are not real knives, and no one needs to worry or call the police. I'm trying to imitate one of my favorite performers, Shakira, a performance I was inspired by. Cheers to us bad girls who aren't afraid to push boundaries and take risks," she said. Now, should Britney's phone be taken away from her? Because all of this is just pretty crazy.
What happened to Britney Spears and why did she leave Instagram? Her final post may have the answers. Britney Spears has once again vanished from Instagram, sparking a wave of speculation about what prompted her sudden exit. The pop icon's Instagram page, once a chaotic but direct line to her 40 million followers, disappeared last Friday, with her profile link now redirecting to a message that simply reads, "Sorry, this page isn't available." It vanished without explanation just hours after she posted a very fiery message targeting two unnamed ex-partners. Spears accused the men of being cruel humans who failed to show her basic affection. In the now deleted post, she wrote, "I dated two effing complete a-holes. I realized I loved their dogs more than them because their dogs bowed to me every time I entered the room." She added, "I choose animals over people any day. I'm so turned off by humanity, I have no words." Shortly after the post went viral, Spears' Instagram account was deactivated. Now, the timing of her online disappearance has fueled theories that her posts may have been a reaction to recent public comments made by her ex-husband Sam Asghari. The couple split in 2023 after just 14 months of marriage, and in a recent interview, Asghari acknowledged that being linked to Spears gave him a platform, but also brought complications. He said, "When you're in such a public relationship, that gives you that platform," adding that being primarily known as Spears' husband made some casting directors a little wary of him. He called the experience a double-edged sword. In a podcast appearance, Asghari also claimed he insisted on a prenuptial agreement before marrying Spears to protect her, given her history of being taken advantage of. He said, "I wanted to make sure that I'm the person that didn't do that." Though Spears did not name Asghari or any specific individuals in her post, many fans interpreted it as a direct response to his recent interviews. Spears has a history of deactivating her Instagram, especially following personal turmoil or media scrutiny. The platform has long served as her main communication channel with fans, where she shared everything from her infamous dance videos and personal reflections to commentary on her life. Now, whether this latest departure is a brief hiatus or a more permanent step away from the spotlight remains uncertain, but if her final post was any indication, Spears appears to be seeking distance, not just from social media, but from people who, in her view, have let her down. She ended up removing that post from her feed, and her disappearance on Instagram comes on the heels of her newest collaboration that officially went live over on X. A message went out to Spears' 53 million followers there about her merch line with Balenciaga. The message simply read, "Balenciaga collab is here." Fans reacted to the news saying, "Does Britney know about it?" Someone else said, "I'm a fan, but those prices are insane." The Spears Balenciaga collab includes about a dozen items ranging from like 300 to I believe in the thousands, which, yes, I know, insane, especially considering it's just stuff with her name or her face on it. I promise you, your local flea market can make it for like 15 bucks, thank me later. There was so much backlash over this controversial collab that people are starting to wonder if she's regretting it and now going silent, or if she somehow had no clue about it at all. You know, it was her team's doing, and maybe now that she's clued in, maybe she's fighting to have it removed. Honestly, who knows? Either way, I can't see this blowing up or people, you know, running to cop items. How do you guys feel about all this Britney drama lately? Let me know. It's Britney back in the headlines, and this time we've got her meltdown recorded in 4K. Britney Spears just gave the internet another viral moment, and no, it's not a dance video or a cryptic Instagram caption this time. time. It's a leaked police body cam video from LAX, and it involves a private jet, vodka, a cigarette, and a quote that's already living rent-free in everyone's heads. She didn't take her meds. Let's rewind. Back in May, Britney was flying home from a getaway in Cabo San Lucas. Private jet, of course, but somewhere over the clouds, things got a little weird. Flight attendant says that she lit up a cigarette mid-air despite being told not to. And yes, apparently she had vodka in hand. Long story short, the crew was so rattled by her behavior that they radioed ahead for help. So when Britney's plane landed at LAX, airport police were already waiting. No chaos, no cuffs, just a casual body cam video now surfacing months later. A customs officer drops the line, "We get her all the time. Today she obviously didn't take her meds." Ouch. The footage shows Britney walking off the jet looking surprisingly chill. I mean, she's waving, smiling, totally calm. Not exactly what you'd expect from someone who allegedly caused an in-flight meltdown. But then again, this is Britney. Inside the cabin though, flight attendants described a very different vibe. They said she was disheveled, had sunscreen smeared all over her, and was argumentative. Now, she reportedly refused help with her seatbelt and got upset when someone tried to assist her. Honestly, it sounds like a chaotic girls' trip landing, minus the paparazzi. Oh wait, actually they were there too. She wasn't arrested though, no charges, no detainment. She was given a warning and walked out like it was just another Tuesday. I mean, police didn't even seem that fazed. One officer in the video called her very compliant and nice, which if you followed Britney's post-conservatorship era, feels very on brand. I mean, a little messy maybe, but not criminal. Of course, Britney clapped back on Instagram. She said she thought smoking was allowed on the jet. Weird. She also said it was her first time drinking vodka. Girl, please. And naturally, she sprinkled in a product plug and another free-spirited dance video because no Britney statement is complete without a little twirl, right? Now, the real gem here is the public's reaction to that quote, "She didn't take her meds." Whether that officer was joking or not, it hit a nerve. Some fans say it's proof Britney still isn't being taken seriously. Others say it's just more evidence she's spiraling. And a third group, well, they're just here for the memes. Let's be real, this is far from the first eyebrow-raising moment we've seen from her lately, from almost burning down her home gym to swinging around, you know, with knives on camera to those wild hotel towel videos. Britney's post-conservatorship freedom has been very intense, but hey, she's legally allowed to live her life however she wants, right? To put it in perspective, this all happened in May. Now, the footage only leaked recently, which is why it feels like it's fresh drama, but Britney, she's already on to the next thing. She's back on Instagram dancing, plugging her beauty products, and low-key trolling the world with captions that make absolutely zero sense. Let's start with one of the most uncomfortable early moments, Diane Sawyer. During Britney's 2003 interview, Diane went full prosecutor on a 21-year-old pop star who was already being crushed by global fame. She brought up Justin Timberlake crying on TV. She questioned Britney's morality. She even suggested that some people wanted to hit her for being a bad example to kids. Watching it now feels straight up brutal, but here's the warning. Britney looked confused, defensive, and emotionally concerned. That wasn't confidence, that was a young woman being slowly broken under the weight of public judgment. That interview aged like spoiled milk, and it showed how early the pressure was already dangerous. Now let's talk about Madonna, the queen of pop who saw the machine up close and personal. Madonna warned the world that the industry was chewing Britney up and spitting her out. She publicly criticized how Britney was being overworked. She was also being torn apart by the media and sensualized, and at one point she basically said, "I've seen this story before and it doesn't end well." Madonna recognized the cycle, build her up, profit off her, then destroy her for entertainment. People rolled their eyes at the time, but now she looks psychic. Next, Courtney Love, and yes, I know Courtney is, well, Courtney, but she warned everyone. She said Britney was being pushed too hard, controlled by the industry, and surrounded by people who didn't care about her mental health. Courtney talked openly about how dangerous fame is for young women who are treated like products instead of people. The internet laughed, the media dismissed her as messy, meanwhile Britney was spiraling in real time. Then there's Whitney Houston, who once said Britney was being used up by the industry, coming from someone who personally battled fame, substance dependency issues, and pressure. That comment hits differently now. I mean, Whitney knew exactly what happens when the world treats your pain like entertainment. Her warning wasn't flashy, it was heartbreaking because it was honest. Even Kanye West spoke up, and yes, I know that's complicated too, but listen to what he actually said. During his own public breakdowns, Kanye repeatedly compared himself to Britney. He said the media was doing the same thing to him that they did to her, stalking, humiliating, dehumanizing, and then calling it news. At the time, people called him unstable. Now we can admit he wasn't wrong about how the machine works. Let's not forget Paris Hilton, Britney's party-era twin flame. Everyone painted them as reckless, dumb blondes who brought everything on themselves. Paris later revealed how traumatizing that time actually was and how controlled they both were, how the media followed their every move like predators. I mean, Paris straight up said Britney was never free. Even back then, we just didn't want to hear it. And then there's Kevin Federline. Yes, her ex. Yes, messy, but early on, he warned the court that Britney was overworked, not sleeping, being controlled by handlers, and pressured nonstop. At the time, the public painted him as the villain trying to steal her money. Now, in hindsight, some of what he said lines up disturbingly well with what we know now about the conservatorship. And the scariest part about all this, the paparazzi culture. Some photographers later admitted they knew Britney was unraveling. They admitted she was crying, begging for privacy, asking them to leave her alone, and they kept filming anyway. A few of them even said they felt guilty because they knew she was being mentally destroyed in front of their lenses, but the money was just too good. So when people say nobody saw this coming, that's simply not true. A lot of people saw it, they just weren't taken seriously, or they weren't loud enough to overpower the machine that was making billions off her breakdown. Britney wasn't crazy, Britney wasn't weak, Britney was exhausted, she was controlled, she was isolated, and she was treated like public property for decades. And the saddest part, well, the people who tried to warn us were standing there the whole time watching the train wreck in slow motion, just like we were and then and maybe are even now. Is Britney Spears crying out for attention? Fans are starting to think so. Britney Spears just posted another one of those videos that makes the entire internet collectively lean closer to their screens and whisper, "Girl, are you okay?" Because this one, I mean, this one didn't feel like a cute little dance moment. This felt like a soft launch of emotional chaos wrapped in glitter, leopard print, and unresolved feelings. Now, Britney shows up on Instagram dancing in a leopard bodysuit to Adele's "Send My Love to Your New Lover" song. It's already dramatic, but then she pairs that video with a caption that starts off light, talking about, not finding a party dress, reflecting on the year, the usual, new me, new energy vibe, cool, normal, we're relaxed, everything's all good. But then the energy free falls straight into darkness. Suddenly she's talking about suffering, darkness, pain, sacrifice, rare beauty being born out of ugliness. It went from like, what outfit should I wear, to, I have stared into the abyss and the abyss stared back in 2 sentences. It was honestly like emotional whiplash. Then she gets even deeper and darker and starts talking about the inner child in her and how, people grow into women but lose their most sensitive parts, and how that inner child needs to rebel and speak during vulnerable moments. And listen, I mean, those are not the words of someone just casually vibing on a Tuesday afternoon. That's like diary level energy. That's candlelit soul searching at like 3 a.m. energy. And I know because I've done that. And just when you think, okay, wow, this is super raw, emotional breakthrough, she switches gears again and casually says she can't even look at food after Thanksgiving because she cheated, she was bad, and it felt so good. Forgive me, Father, I'm sorry. Like, that's what she wrote. What? Like, we just went from, spiritual suffering to Thanksgiving leftovers. Like, we didn't just emotionally spiral for 2 full paragraphs. This is why people don't know how to take her on anymore. It's not that she's dancing, it's not the outfits, it's the emotional gear shifting at like crazy warp speed. 1 second it's reflection, the next second it's darkness, the next second it's Adele's heartbreak revenge energy, then it's stuffing and forgiveness. I mean, here's where it gets even messier. About 12 hours after that, the original heavy caption disappears. It was gone, vanished, replaced with a lighter one about feeling pretty in a bathing suit and looking for Mary Jane shoes. That's it. No explanation, no follow-up, no, I was in my feelings earlier, just straight back to sparkle mode like the emotional breakdown never happened. So, when people say the latest video looks like a cry for attention, here's the uncomfortable truth. It kind of does. Not in a malicious way, but in a very human, very unfiltered, I need to be seen and I don't know how else to say it kind of way. Britney doesn't post like other celebrities. There's no polish, no PR smoothing, no strategic branding. It's raw, it's impulsive, it's emotional, and that's exactly why it hits so hard every time. And that's why it makes people uneasy at the same time, because what makes Britney post feel like it's always a cry for attention. It's not the dancing, it's the contrast, you know, it's the emotional oversharing followed by immediate emotional erasing. It's the vulnerability followed by performance. It's the depth followed by distraction. That constant flip-flopping is what keeps people watching and also worrying. So, you know, I'm not here to diagnose anyone, I'm not here to villainize her, and I'm definitely not here to shame someone for being emotional, but I am here to call it what it looks like. I mean, this video didn't feel like joy, it felt like noise over pain. At this point, the saddest part isn't even the speculation, it's the fact that the world no longer knows when to take her seriously and when to treat it like entertainment. And that's a very dangerous place for any human being to exist in, you know, living in this gray zone between concern and consumption. Britney Spears has deleted her Instagram account after terrifying her family with her erratic behavior. Britney Spears just vanished from Instagram yet again. The pop princess, chaos magnet, and survivor of the wildest comeback in pop culture history suddenly deleted her entire account. 1 second she was posting very cryptic videos, the next, poof, gone. Fans aren't just gossiping, they're genuinely worried right now because when Britney wipes her socials, it usually means something's up. Now, it all started after she shared a series of posts that had everyone kind of side-eyeing their phones. In one video, Britney danced in her living room, classic Britney energy, but viewers noticed bruises on her arms and bandages around her wrists. She said she had fallen down the stairs at a friend's house, adding that it's how she expresses herself through art. I mean, I'm not here for concern or pity, she wrote, except everyone got concerned because nothing says I'm fine like deleting your Instagram after posting photos that basically scream I'm not fine. Then came the caption. She referenced trauma, wings, rehab, and brain damage, all in one emotional post that sounded more like a cry from someone who's been through hell and is still trying to find her footing. I mean, she talked about her time in rehab back in 2018 and even mentioned how the conservatorship era left her feeling stripped of control over her own body. It wasn't the typical look at my outfit Britney post. It was very raw, it was dark, it was real. I mean, she posted another caption that said, sometimes silence speaks louder, and then hours later, her whole account was gone. Fans immediately flooded X and TikTok with theories, of course. Some say she's just taking a social media detox, others think something's seriously wrong behind the scenes. The more dramatic ones are convinced that she's being silenced again, because let's be honest, Britney doesn't just go offline for fun. I mean, every time she's disappeared from the internet, it's been tied to some major life chaos. And of course, it wouldn't be Britney without extra drama on the side. I mean, her ex-husband Kevin Federline recently resurfaced with his memoir and claims about her parenting and her mental health, which she publicly clapped back at. I mean, the timing of her social media disappearance, it's suspiciously close. Fans are connecting dots that might not even be there, but the energy around this feels a little different. People have been watching Britney closely ever since she won her freedom in 2021. I mean, that conservatorship wasn't just a legal mess, it was a 13-year cage. Now, even though she's like quote unquote free, posts like these remind everyone that the emotional scars didn't vanish with the court ruling. She's still clearly struggling, and maybe that's what makes this whole situation hit a little harder. Deleting her Instagram could mean she's trying to protect her peace. Maybe she's tired of strangers analyzing every bruise and caption, or maybe it's a silent SOS. I mean, whatever it is, the internet can't stop speculating, and it's got that same uneasy feeling fans had before the whole Free Britney movement exploded years ago. The truth is, no one really knows what's going on behind the curtain, but there's something haunting about watching a woman who fought so hard for her voice suddenly go quiet again. Whether it's for self-care or something darker, people are paying attention, and honestly, they should be. I mean, Britney's story has never been just another celebrity meltdown. It's a warning about fame, control, and what happens when the world treats a human being like a headline. Every time she disappears, it reminds us how fragile that line between freedom and fear really is. So yeah, maybe she's fine, maybe she's healing, but when Britney Spears deletes her Instagram, the world notices, and this time everyone's wondering the same thing: is she okay? Britney Spears is clearly not okay, and fans are more concerned now than ever. Britney Spears is seriously in a rough spot, and her latest public move is raising all kinds of red flags. She was just photographed leaving a wine bar in LA, walking to her car while holding a full champagne flute. That's not normal. I mean, is it in LA? I have no clue, so y'all tell me. But anyway, her family is understandably panicking. Her team insisted she didn't actually drink that night, but walking around with a flute like she's in some bougie movie, I mean, either way, the optics are very troubling. In the photo, she's trying to lay low, big sunglasses, a white lace scarf draped over her head, a brown plaid kind of blazer, crop lace top, low-rise jeans, jeans, red lips, the whole, hide but look famous vibe. But despite her effort, paparazzi were there to catch every single moment, and she clapped back hard in an Instagram video. She called them incredibly mean and complained they always pick her worst photos. She said she can't go anywhere without being, harassed, calling the whole thing offensive. This is not just a one-off. According to insiders, this weird wine bar move is part of a pattern. There are recent reports that she's been driving dangerously, which we've seen, swerving, changing lanes, even crossing the center divider after nights out. Her loved ones are terrified. Some say she's losing control with behavior they describe as absolutely terrifying. Now, to make matters worse, her ex, Kevin Federline, released a memoir full of very heavy claims, stuff like, substance dependency issues and use while breastfeeding, as well as infidelity. I mean, whether or not you believe it, sources say the book hit Britney very hard. One insider told people she's spiraling and reopening those old wounds. Her family doesn't know what to do. Multiple sources say she stopped responding to texts, ignoring calls, and isn't even reading her DMs anymore. So it's like she's shutting the world out completely. And that isolation, her loved ones see it as very dangerous. Some are questioning whether there's anyone around her who actually has her back. One person said they're worried she's surrounded by people who don't have her best interest at heart. And another person asked the scary question, how do you protect someone when she's pushing everyone away? Britney's reaction to the scrutiny hasn't made things any calmer. In that Instagram rant, she sounded very raw, tired of being judged, angry at the paparazzi. She said she feels stalked and she's just simply fed up. So yeah, this isn't just headline drama. Britney walking out of a wine bar with a champagne glass isn't really cute. It might be a serious cry for help. Her family sees the danger, so do I, and if she doesn't let people in, this could get a lot worse. So we've got to ask, how bad does it have to get before somebody actually steps in? Britney Spears may be forced back into her conservatorship after just a few years of freedom from it. You remember the fairy tale of freedom, right? Well, that iconic moment when Britney Spears finally broke free from that courtroom cage. Yeah, well, buckle up, because word on the glittery sidewalk is that her freedom might be hanging on by a thread again. So let's rewind for a second though. In 2021, Britney ended her infamous 13-year conservatorship, the one where her dad, Jamie Spears, basically held the remote control to her entire life. The world cheered, hashtag Free Britney trended worldwide, and it finally felt like justice. She was free, or so we thought. Fast forward to now, and reports say her own family is quietly whispering behind the scenes, wondering if Britney's losing control again, and if another conservatorship might actually be necessary. They're allegedly worried about erratic behavior and unpredictable decisions. So translation, well, they're freaking out, and we're about to see this whole circus get raised again. Now, let's be honest, one minute she's dancing like it's 2003 again, and the next her family's, eyeing legal paperwork. The same people who once controlled her every move are suddenly playing the, we're just concerned card. It's honestly giving deja vu, drama, and delusion all at once. So here's what's really going on, at least from my POV. Now, her family reportedly thinks she's slipping back into self-destructive habits, posting bizarre videos, cutting people off, and making moves that seem impulsive. Nothing illegal, nothing criminal, just the kind of stuff that makes tabloid editors salivate. But when you're Britney Spears, one Instagram post can turn into a courtroom petition. The twist? This time, her family doesn't even want Jamie Spears back in full control. They just think someone needs to step in. Meanwhile, Britney's out here posting cryptic captions, calling out fake family members, and making it very clear she's not forgiving or forgetting anytime soon. The people who once locked her down are now trying to play saviors. Hollywood couldn't write irony like this. Now let's talk reality for a second. If a new conservatorship actually happens, that means she could lose control over her money, her health decisions, maybe even her freedom. Again, fans are already, lighting their digital torches ready to riot if this becomes real, because how do you go from free Britney to oops, we did it again? Britney's made it crystal clear that she will never go back to that dark place. She said the conservatorship left deep emotional scars and she's still healing. So if anyone tries to put her under another one, it's going to get messy very fast. And honestly, it feels like concern and more like control. So less like concern, more like control. And at this point, the situation isn't about protecting Britney, it's about power. It's about who gets to profit off her name again, who gets to manage her choices, and who decides if she's fit to live freely. The people who once called the shots might just be trying to grab the wheel again. So here's what to watch and look out for. Her next post, her tone, whether, her team suddenly starts taking or talking about mental health concerns, because when that language starts opening in and creeping in, it's usually, the prelude to legal action. Listen, I love a comeback story as much as anyone, but this isn't a comeback. It's a red flag in rhinestones. Britney fought for her freedom once, and if her family's really trying to drag her back into that conservatorship life, it's about to get so ugly. Is Britney Spears' son just using her for her money now? Well, one source claims so let's look into it. Britney Spears' team is allegedly worried about her relationship with her son Jaden. The singer recently shared a glimpse of her bonding time with her youngest son. Now, to give you background in case you don't know, she shares sons Sean Preston and Jaden with her ex-husband Kevin Federline. Now, the pop star has reportedly been making efforts to mend her relationships, with her once estranged children since reuniting with them last year. However, according to a new report, people close to her are concerned about Jaden taking advantage of her in several ways, but mainly financially, just like his daddy, ain't it? Anyway, Britney Spears' team believes her son is using her. A new report has hinted that Britney Spears' team has been questioning Jaden's intentions amid their mother-son bonding time. It was reported that the 43-year-old recently gifted her youngest son a new Mercedes SL63 AMG worth over $200,000. While the move may seem like an effort by Spears to mend their broken relationship, people around the singer believe the teen's motives may be less than sincere. Though Jaden has reportedly become more attached to Spears in the last couple of months, one source said his older brother has remained more distant. The singer has been spoiling her teen. The outlet exclusively learned from a source that her team is quote-unquote definitely worried about her relationship with Jaden. Now, the source explained that everybody is worried that the, aspiring musician is using his pop star mom with bad intentions. Jaden could allegedly be seeking financial gains and to further his career. They added, saying, "The fear is that this could hurt her and be the last straw for her." Following the reunion, Jaden reportedly returned to California in November and grew close with his mother. Meanwhile, her older son, Sean Preston, stayed back in Hawaii. Now, it's unclear why he didn't join, but many think he's just not ready to have a relationship with her, or maybe he just feels like he wanted Jaden to get that one-on-one time. Either way, it's unclear, and we don't really know the real reason yet, but according to a source though, Sean still takes the same stance he's always had with his mom, which is guarded and at a very, short arm's length because he does not want to be in the industry. A second insider, painted a more optimistic picture of the mother-son relationship, calling their recent time together very special and incredibly healing for Spears. Now, they said with Sean, there is still some room for improvement, but this is a time of reconciliation. Both boys are welcome to visit and stay with Britney anytime they want. Britney has needed some mom time, and she would love to be with her kids all summer and make up for some lost time. Now, Hawaii is where the siblings had been living with their father, Kevin Federline, since 2023. Spears and her son's bond have been complicated. In earlier years, Federline was awarded care of the boys in 2008 following his divorce from Spears the previous year, when the singer became, the subject of a conservatorship due to her well-publicized breakdown. Now, another insider also told the outlet that the singer hopes to form a similar bond with Sean Preston as she did with her youngest. The 19-year-old has reportedly remained very hesitant regarding the same, and the new report comes days after Spears gave a rare glimpse of her quality time with Jaden. The pop star shared a very candid video of the duo on a drive. They were seemingly in the car that she gifted him. She also expressed her surreal feeling in the Instagram Reels caption. The mom of two wrote, "He is 6'3" and his hands are so big now." She then questioned, saying, "How long am I going to be in shock?" The singer then said, "It's so incredibly crazy, it's not even funny." She stated that she was feeling blessed. However, Spears also added, "Just please be careful with my heart too." Well, what does that mean? Like, is she saying that to him, about him, to her fans? So many questions, so little answers. It's reported though that Jaden reached out to Britney saying he missed her and felt she had shown, that she was doing better. Insiders also alleged that Spears and Jaden have bonded over their shared love of music. The source said, "Britney is ready to give him every advantage. She believes he's incredibly talented and she takes full credit for his musical abilities." Well, what do you guys think? Is her son using her for her money, or does he genuinely just want a better relationship with his mom? Fans are begging Britney Spears to get help, and that sentence alone should make everyone uncomfortable because it says more about us than it does about her. Every time Britney posts a video, the internet reacts like it's, a live emergency room. Comment sections fill up with concern, panic, theories, armchair diagnosis, and that familiar phrase, "someone needs to help her." And while some of that concern is genuine, a lot of it feels invasive, loud, entitled, like people forget she's a human being and not a reality show cliffhanger. Let's be clear about one thing right right off the top, Britney Spears does not owe us wellness updates. She does not owe us calm, coherence, or, anything else. She doesn't owe us anything beyond what she chooses to share. And yet, because she's Britney, millions of people feel personally invested in her mental state, as if her piece is, a public utility. Here's where it gets complicated though. Britney has been through things that would break most people, decades of nonstop scrutiny, being, sensualized as a teenager, losing control of her own body, money, and life under conservatorship that lasted 13 years. That wasn't just restrictive, it was traumatic. And trauma doesn't evaporate just because a court order ends. So when people say she's acting strange, the better question might be, compared to what? Compared to the version of Britney that was carefully packaged, media trained, and controlled, because that version wasn't freedom, that was survival. There's also, this dangerous assumption floating around that healing is supposed to look quiet, neat, Instagram approved. We expect people to process pain in a way that makes us comfortable. And when they don't, we label it concerning. But healing can be very messy. Healing can be very loud. Healing can look like experimentation, regression, confusion, expression, and yes, sometimes chaos, especially for someone who is denied, autonomy for most of their adult life. That said, and this matters, concern isn't inherently wrong. Wanting someone to be safe isn't the problem. The problem is when concern turns into surveillance, when compassion turns into control, when help starts sounding a lot like, you're not behaving the way I want you to. People forget that forced help isn't help. Britney knows that better than anyone. There's also the uncomfortable reality that the internet doesn't actually want her well. It wants her, legible, like it wants her predictable, it wants reassurance. And when it doesn't get that, it panics. Think about it. If Britney were posting perfectly curated photos, smiling politely and saying all the right things, the same people would be applauding her strength and resilience. But because she's expressing herself in a way that doesn't follow the script, suddenly everyone's, a crisis expert. And let's not ignore the hypocrisy, because the same culture that chewed her up in the early 2000s is now pretending to be her guardian angels. The same media machine that profited off her breakdown is now asking if she's okay, with ads running right next to, the articles. Concern shouldn't be performative, it shouldn't be loud, and it definitely shouldn't be public spectacle. Britney has access to resources, she has people in her life, and most importantly, she has the right to decide what help looks like for her. Real support respects autonomy and it doesn't demand compliance. So maybe the question isn't whether Britney needs help, maybe the question is why so many people feel entitled to decide that for her, publicly, relentlessly, and without boundaries. Britney spent years being controlled for her own good. Watching people, recreate that dynamic under the guise of concern should give everybody pause. She doesn't need saving by strangers. What she really needs right now is space, dignity, and the same grace we'd want if our healing played out in front of the entire world. Let's recap on the times this year that Britney Spears lost control. If there's one thing Britney Spears is going to do in 2025, it's remind the world that freedom is messy, chaotic, deeply entertaining, and sometimes looks like a deleted scene from Euphoria. And honestly, I support women's rights and women's wrongs, because this year, Britney didn't just go off the rails, she built her own custom track, lit it on fire, and danced through the sparks barefoot in low-rise shorts. So let's talk about every moment she had us clutching our phones like, oh god, what did she post this time? First up, the kitchen weapon dancing saga expanded edition. Just when we thought we'd seen the last of Britney clacking around her marble floors like a hibachi chef on Red Bull, she came back with new choreography, a new playlist, and those sharp kitchen utensils that look significantly less fake this time. Now, the internet was like, Queen, please. And Britney was like, I'll spin if I want to. Honestly, she's unbothered, hydrated, and possibly a danger to fruit everywhere. Now, then we had the captions, you know the ones. The paragraphs that read like a ransom note written during a sugar crash. She'll start off with, hi guys, feeling blessed. And by the end, she's quoting Shakespeare, dragging her family, apologizing to no one, and threatening to move to Switzerland with a horse named Freedom. And we're all just kind of like in the comments like, girl, are you good? Like, she is not, and that's why we're here. Now, let's talk about the random men. Every few weeks, she'll upload a picture with a man who looks like he was hired off Cameo. No explanation, no intro, just Britney smiling like she won a raffle, and the guy kind of staring into the camera like he's being held hostage off screen. The internet goes full CSI, trying to, figure out who he is, is, what he wants, how long it'll be before he's posting selfies from her foyer. And now we have to mention the public meltdowns. Britney went out this year, and every single time the paparazzi acted like she escaped a zoo. She'll be at a restaurant minding her business, and next thing you know, she's running barefoot in the parking lot, yelling at someone, holding a purse that looks like it's carrying nothing but vibes. I mean, for the record, a lot of these, she went crazy in public stories started because people were filming her without consent, and she reacted like a normal person who's had one very long decade. Also, remember when she lit the cigarette on the airplane like it was 1976? Yeah, almost forgot about that one, didn't ya? But the crown jewel of Britney's 2025 chaos, the disappearing and reappearing Instagram posts and account. One minute she's telling the world she's quitting music, the next she's uploading a video twirling in her living room like she's auditioning for a tornado. She deletes everything, comes back with a poem, deletes it, posts it again with a different emoji. It's like watching someone speed run every emotional stage of a breakup at 3 a.m. The most recent unhinged moment, well, when she was reportedly seen exhibiting strange behavior at an eatery, like knocking over glasses, giving a bizarre toast before getting behind the wheel. A video that, of course, has since gone viral shows her driving in a chaotic manner, swerving suddenly, tailgating people, and driving into the wrong lanes a few times. It was so messy and very on brand though. And through all of this, let's not pretend the media wasn't lurking in the bushes waiting to call her unhinged. But here's the thing, Britney isn't really going crazy. She's living her unfiltered life after being controlled for 13 years. And yes, sometimes it looks like chaos, sometimes it sounds like chaos, sometimes it is chaos, but it's her chaos. And honestly, she's more interesting than like every perfectly curated celebrity combined. So whether she's twirling with weapons, writing novels in her captions, switching men like Wi-Fi networks, or just giving the paparazzi a new reason to clock in, I mean, Britney Spears is going to keep being Britney Spears, and for better or for worse, the internet will always be watching. Because say what you want, but nobody does unpredictable like the princess of pop.
Britney Spears has revealed that she has left the US and by extension Hollywood behind. She shared this shocking confession on her Instagram, posting a series of videos to her main feed. The first was her sharing her thoughts on the paparazzi, the second of her birthday cake, and in the third she confirmed she did in fact cross that border. Let's break down all three of these clips together. Video number 1, which was posted Tuesday, features the star expressing her dislike for the photos recently taken of her boarding, presumably, knowing what we know now, the plane she took to Mexico. In the video, Spears says, "I'm not really sure why the paparazzi have me going on a plane looking like I'm wearing a Jason mask. It doesn't even look like me." Personally, I think she looks fine in the pictures. I don't fully understand the Jason mask comment. I guess it might be the sunglasses combined with some shadows on her face that give that illusion to her. Either way, she isn't happy about the way the pictures made her look. The pop pics went viral just a few days ago, along with an exclusive video obtained by the Daily Mail. Both forms of media show Britney in a long white coat with a black wide-brimmed hat and sunglasses boarding a black plane. The outfit is not worrying. What had people looking twice at this moment was the lighter in Spears' hand. It was one of those long ones. It's called a grill lighter. It's hard to miss. The star had the lighter up to her lips. The inclusion of the lighter had people talking, as a viral story from a few years ago also featured Britney Spears and fire. The star dropped interesting lore about her life in an April 2020 workout tutorial that she had accidentally burned down her home gym. Her explanation as to how the fire started was, "I had 2 candles and yeah, one thing led to another and I burnt it down." Thankfully, no one was hurt, just a couple workout machines. Spears posted a throwback to that incident last December, once again bringing that to the forefront of her fans' minds. Now it's a year later, and as Spears is pictured with a lighter while entering a plane, some dedicated fans can't help but feel that worry again. But Spears herself has encouraged people not to worry in the first of the 3 videos. She speaks about the lighter as if it were unimportant, saying, "I don't know why I have a torch in my hand. Honestly, I think my friend accidentally gave that to me." Torch being the lighter. She made it clear that she wasn't holding the lighter with evil intent or anything like that, so everyone can relax about it. Right at the end of the video, Spears makes the claim that she is not turning 42, she is turning 5, and she has to go to kindergarten tomorrow. This has got the gossip sites talking. Clearly, people are saying that Spears has lost it, that this is really concerning or disturbing, and everyone is entitled to their own outlook on the situation, which means I am too. I think she's joking and just got her age mixed up. I personally have forgotten my own age before. I know my friends and family have too. It's a completely normal human thing to do. Sure, Spears is known to be experiencing some mental health struggles, but that doesn't mean she's completely lost her head. People have been making fun of this poor girl for years. She makes one small mistake, says she's turning 42 instead of 43, and all the headlines are talking about her mental decline. The comment about turning 5 in the kindergarten stuff, I will admit, is not exactly a normal thing to say, but it's pretty clear in this video and many other things that the star has posted and said that she doesn't appreciate how the media treats her or depicts her. She's constantly being torn apart, and her mental health / state is always up for discussion, and her intelligence is often reduced whenever people talk about her latest social media uploads and other activities. I wouldn't be surprised if this comment about how she is mentally 5 years old and starting school tomorrow is her way of responding to all that. There is also the manner of the lighter that could have factored into this. I'm bringing this up because it was mentioned in the same video. Commonly, people believe that you shouldn't give really young humans access to fire, right? They don't know that what they have is dangerous, they might hurt themselves or others without knowing, etc. Maybe having everyone so concerned about her, an adult, holding a lighter struck a nerve, resulting in the joke about being 5. But moving on to the next video, this one was shared in the same post as the first. Of the trio, it's probably the most tame, I guess. It literally is just Spears showing off her birthday cake, and it looks good too. She describes it as a very, very cute baby cake, and she's not wrong. She goes on to say that her friend got it for her, I'm guessing because that would be wild if they got a cake for themselves on her birthday. Anyways, the third video posted, separately of the other two, is where Britney drops the news that she moved to Mexico. Honestly, good for her. That was at the end of the video though, so let's unpack everything that came before it. The video kicks off with Britney reiterating her disdain for the photos taken of her boarding the plane and just for the paparazzi in general. Again, making a comment about how she feels like the photos taken look nothing like her and make her look like she's wearing a white Jason mask. She goes on to call out the paparazzi for being cruel towards her over the years, especially in the way they take pictures of her. Paparazzi are still incredibly invasive today, but in the early 2000s when print magazines had million-dollar budgets for photos, it was definitely tougher and encouraged the behavior to continue and get worse as people looked for money shots. A resurfaced article from November 27, 2008, written for ABC News, details the disgusting lengths pops would go to for a picture. The article writes about how they had no problems taking pictures of Britney in a short dress with her undergarments exposed, and even worse, later taking photos of her in a miniskirt getting out of a car in which she is completely exposed. The average person, you would hope, would see something like that and put their cameras away to preserve the subject's modesty, but it seems when a magazine's budget for pictures is roughly $140,000 a week, morals shift. That number isn't something I pull from thin air. In the documentary Framing Britney Spears, the former photo director for US Weekly, Britton Stone, shared that that was the amount they could sometimes have at their disposal when it came to buying paparazzi pictures. Now, the money shot of Spears ended up being those taken on the night of her infamous 2007 public breakdown. The shocking depiction of Britney with a shaved head and attacking a car with an umbrella are burned into pop culture. The pop responsible for that moment actually did an interview for the same Britney doc in which he explained that that night was not a good night for her, it was not a good night for us, but it was a good night for us because it was a money shot. It was brought up that Britney frequently pleaded with the pops to leave her alone, to which this man said, "There were times when she was like, 'Can you leave me alone for the day?' But it wasn't like, 'Leave me alone forever.' You know what I mean?" Personally, I don't, but previously in the interview, he talked about how when Britney first started getting popped, she seemed more at ease with it. He even claimed that she would give up shots, meaning that she would wave and be friendly and smile for the camera. At this point in time, the paparazzi said that it was like she needed us and we needed her. Of course, things can start on a great note and end up completely horribly, like the position Spears has found herself in today, unable to do anything in public without a shutter clicking. In her video, Britney went on to say, "I know I'm not perfect at all by any means, but some of it is extremely mean and cruel," before dropping the shocking news, "That's why I've moved to Mexico." So it's looking like, as of right now, the reason Britney has left Hollywood and all its strings behind is because of the paparazzi and their years of harassment. The most recent posts to Britney Spears' Instagram are of her dancing in a shiny mini dress. The dancing videos, they're not new, she posts them all the time. Britney is a super talented dancer, that's what made her a stand-up performer at the height of her pop career. Now she exercises that muscle on her Instagram from time to time. It's unclear when these videos were taken, but it does look like she did in fact change locations. The caption for the first 2 videos was, "What are we watching, my friends?" The third one didn't have one. From what she's posting on social media, it looks like she is having a great time in Mexico. Truly, I hope she is, and is able to start a fantastic new life there. Also, happy 43rd birthday, Britney Spears.
Number 10. Rehabilitation. Oh baby, baby, how was she supposed to know that substances don't end very well? Britney is famous for many things, her voice, her missing hair, and now her freedom. But one of her tamer media scandals came in 2007 following a long night of rage-fueled menacing. She checked herself into a rehab facility. She had recently divorced from her background dancer / husband, Kevin Federline, and apparently was not taking the situation well. As we know now, there was a massive amount of media and public involvement with the divorce. The entire thing was basically documented for everyone to see. I still remember Britney's bald head on my TV screen at the age of 6 because my sister just loved TMZ. According to her manager at the time, the messy divorce combined with the public shame that she was feeling, the decision was made to check herself into a rehabilitation facility somewhere in Los Angeles. She stayed in the facility for 30 days before being released back into the wild, but despite that stint, things did not get better, and her family life especially was next to suffer. Number 9. The 2007 VMAs. The MTV Video Music Awards have been host to some of the most confrontational and dramatic moments in music history. Nicki Minaj famously called out host Miley Cyrus when she took the stage to accept an award. Kanye West interrupted Taylor Swift's acceptance speech to tell people that he was happy for Taylor, but that Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. Yeah, I know he goes by Ye now, but I don't care. When Britney Spears took to the stage at the 2007 VMAs, fans were happy to see her on her feet as the media made it seem like she had been going down a dark path, which she was. She appeared on stage sporting a blonde wig, which was obvious to anyone who was aware of the head shaving incident a few months prior. She started singing in the most under-enthusiastic way ever, and while her background dancers are giving it their all, it looks like Britney's just stumbling around the stage with little to no idea what's going on. She even attempted to lip-sync her songs, but she failed miserably, barely coming close to what she needed to do. The performance, which was her last before taking her hiatus from performing, will live forever on the internet for the world to see, and was actually parodied in the final moments of the comedy Disaster Movie, which is the most random piece of cinema I have ever seen in my life. Number 8. Public Family Feud. Britney is just like anyone else. She brushes her teeth in the morning, she goes to bed at night, and she constantly fights with her family, like non-stop. Now you guys don't do that? Okay, I'm just gonna make a phone call. Britney wasn't born into a typical happy family life. In fact, quite the opposite. Her parents struggled to make ends meet, her father was an avid consumer of the no-no juice, and an aggressive presence in her life. According to Britney's mom, her daughter urged her to leave her husband several times over the years after seeing her suffer years and years of verbal mistreatment. Throughout her rise to fame, her father was primarily kept out of her life until 2007 when she was placed under a conservatorship, which means that a court decided that she was unfit to control her own finances, so they placed her father in charge, because he had such a great track record. Over the 13 years she was under the conservatorship, it's estimated that her father stole $5 million from his own daughter. She famously fought with her sister Jamie Lynn, who was the star of a Nickelodeon show called Zoe 101, until outside life caused her to take a break from the acting world to be a mama. The paparazzi was able to capture lots of juicy pics of Britney yelling at her family, blowing up every single aspect they could of it. She eventually patched things up with her sister in 2019, but the jury is still out on her relationship with her dad. Number 7. Marrying a background dancer. Britney's love life has been anything but straight and narrow. Over her life she's had many men come and go, never seeming to find the right fit for her lifestyle. In 2006, Britney married a man named Kevin Federline after meeting one fateful night in a nightclub. After spending 1 week together, Britney invited Kevin to join her world tour, where he acted as both her lover and a background dancer. They describe meeting as love at first sight. Kevin spotted her from across the room and felt an instant connection. A magnet appeared in front of them like a cartoon and it just drew them together. The paparazzi couldn't get enough of these two. While they were seemingly in a genuine relationship, they made it seem like the couple were the most chaotic in the world. Their union was a media massacre. They were so stoked to see this relationship either crash and burn or, well, yeah, they just wanted it to crash and burn. After less than a year together, the couple filed for divorce, apparently citing constant fighting as their main issue. Not long after, Britney went on her famous meltdown, so needless to say she did not take the breakup very well. Number 6. Smacked herself. This is a more recent scandal with Miss Spears. Recently, Britney was in the most peaceful and godlike city in the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, when she spotted the NBA player Victor Wembanyama at a hotel, and I'm very sorry if I mispronounced that name. According to the police reports and the recently released security video, Britney tapped Vic on his back and shoulder in an attempt to get his attention. This is when his security team had reportedly backhanded her, causing the whole situation in the first place. Britney claimed that the security detail laid their hands on her, but the reality was the security team's ninja-like reflexes caused them to accidentally push her back towards herself, inadvertently slapping herself across the face. The funny thing with that situation is just how hard she was convinced that someone else had hit her. Like, she didn't feel her own hand touch her face. That'd be like me standing here right now and going, "Hey, who did that? Chris, is that you?" That's the camera guy, he never gets a shout out. With the footage now not only proving her guilt but her misremembering of the situation, many are beginning to question if Britney was all there during the situation. Just saying, the only time I forget stuff that significant is after a couple of trips to my deck, if you know what I mean. Number 5, the meltdown. As many people know, Britney began a downward spiral health-wise in 2007. After her divorce from Kevin Federline, she not only shaved her head, but she went on a rage-fueled rampage across the city, taking down anyone in her path. After being swarmed by photographers at a gas station in LA, she went on a rampage wielding an umbrella and swinging it over and over at one of their cars, attempting to smash their window. She also hurled expletives at anyone and everyone with a camera, eventually launching the umbrella towards the crowd. This was the main incident that landed her in a psychiatric hold. Fun fact about that umbrella used in the incident, it was auctioned off for $7,000 online, and I cannot wait for it to show up. All my life savings on that thing. I hope there's still some broken glass on it. Number 4, accidentally released birthday suit pics. Birthday suits, a term which originated in Germany as a term for the clothes that you are born in, which is none. Britney accidentally exposed her birthday suit in 2022 when she posted a series of photos to her Instagram of herself holding her new puppy. While it may not seem outside the realm of reality for anyone who is a hardcore Britney fan, to everyone else, she just exposed herself on one of the most used social media platforms in the world. The photos were later deleted after a series of negative comments and messages began bombarding her inbox. Nothing ever came of this, but just let this entry be a reminder to never post a picture of yourself holding a puppy in your birthday suit. Hold a bearded dragon or a snake or something, make yourself look edgy. Number 3, weird TikToks. This entry isn't a scandal per se, but it certainly needs to be mentioned. Fans rejoiced when the hashtag #FreeBritney finally worked and she was released from her conservatorship in 2021. Since being released, fans were expecting her to possibly release some more music, or maybe even appear as a judge on a new reality show. Instead, what she has been up to is making some of the weirdest and hardest to watch TikToks on the planet. If you follow her account unironically, I do apologize, but this entry is probably not for you. Britney regularly posts videos of herself staring into the camera and dancing. Now, while this is the basis for the platform, she has this blank, lifeless stare when she does it, like she's peering directly into your soul. I've only ever witnessed a handful of these clips, but every time I do, I'm just reminded of how strange and unnerving the internet can be sometimes. Aren't you glad that you popped by this little slice of internet heaven? Click that like button if you are. Number 2, she shaved her head. In 2007, aka Britney's glory year, she famously posted a video of herself holding clippers in a barber's chair, missing most of her hair. Not all of it though, she looked a little bit like the dude from Brothers Grimm. If you haven't seen that movie, that is Heath Ledger's best performance, okay? A documentary about Britney's life was released in 2019 called Britney Spears Breaking Point. In the doc, she revealed the true story behind her shaving of the head. Following a brief stint in a rehab facility in Antigua, Britney fled to see her sons, who had been living with her ex Kevin. Of course, when she turned up at their doorstep and not at the facility that she was supposed to be in, Kevin refused to let her see the kids and sent her away. This led her to driving to Los Angeles to the salon where she shaved her head. The person who cut her hair kept it and quickly attempted to auction it off for $1 million, which sounds crazy, but you know that there are some weirdos out there who would have called that a bargain. Following the shaving, she made her way to a tattoo parlor where the artist asked her what happened to her hair, and Britney's response was, "I was just tired of people touching it. I just don't want people to touch my hair." This was an incident that eventually got Britney placed under the conservatorship, which she was released from in 2021, thankfully. Speaking of which, number 1, conservatorship. Britney's father was a dark cloud in her life, doing nothing but making everything harder for his daughter. Despite initially taking a back seat while she rose to fame, a court ruled in 2007 that she was unfit it to control her own finances and granted that power instead to her father, who was a no-no juice enthusiast with a sweet tooth for expensive things. After the second time she was admitted to the hospital for psychiatric assessment, the financial power was thrust onto her father, who managed her money very well. I'm just kidding, he's a trash bag and he spent a lot of money that he didn't have. Her father reportedly stole $5 million from his daughter over the 13-year conservatorship, spending it on everything from vacations and boats to houses and cars, all wasted by Jamie. Financial woes were not the only problem that came with the conservatorship. According to a court report from 2019, Britney was unable to get married or have children under the conservatorship, which is, disgusting, just so gross. I don't care how crazy you are or unstable, if you want to get married, you go do it! Plus, what would have happened if she had a baby anyway? Like, oh, I'm sorry ma'am, you actually can't have that, you're too crazy for one of those, and I'm gonna have to confiscate that contraband. Thankfully, the conservatorship ended in 2021, and Britney is free to be her weird, wild self. If you need any proof, just check out the TikToks.
And at number 10, Britney bribed her parents' divorce. One of the most shocking revelations from Jamie Lynn's book and interviews was the fact that her parents never had the perfect marriage, and their father Jamie struggled with alcohol issues while they were young. This caused his behavior to be unpredictable when they were growing up, and it put a huge strain on their children. Because of the toxic relationship, Britney told her mother she would buy her a house if she divorced Jamie, her father. Her mother did this, got the house and the divorce, and then her father basically lived at the house anyway. Jamie Lynn says their dad was there the first night that the women moved into the new house. Jamie Lynn didn't know how to act. She was so young, she was knowing her sister's wishes, but seeing her mother staying with this man, she was angry, upset, and didn't know which side to take. And at number 9, barefoot in a gas station bathroom. In 2004, Britney made the strange decision to go barefoot into a sketchy bathroom, and the media questioned her cleanliness ever since that incident. While at a gas station in Ventura, California, Britney needed to use the bathroom and decided to just use one at the gas station. Her fiancé Kevin Federline was waiting in the car for her when paparazzi snapped her walking into the unisex bathroom with bare feet. Yup, that's right. Britney decided to use a unisex gas station bathroom with no shoes on. I feel like it would honestly be hard to find any celebrity that would be okay with using a gas station bathroom in general. After that, the media exploded questioning her hygiene, and I'm sure she regrets how much media attention that small moment got. But at the end of the day, if she feels fine going barefoot, who are we to judge? And at number 8, Jamie Lynn's terrifying experience. In her new book, Jamie Lynn describes a terrifying event with her sister that sheds light on the struggles that Britney was facing at that time. She wrote, quote, "One time she said to me, 'Baby, I'm scared,' and took a large knife from the kitchen, pulled me along to my room, and she locked us both inside. She put the weapon in the bedside table drawer and simply repeated, 'I'm scared.' She needed me to sleep beside her." Jamie Lynn describes how scared she was during that incident and claims she experienced panic attacks after that. Britney responded to the shocking allegations on Twitter, denying that the event ever happened. Britney wrote, quote, "I've never been around you with a knife or would I ever think to do such." Neither parent has made a statement about which sister is telling the truth. And at number 7, Jason Alexander wedding. One of Britney's most controversial moments was when she decided to get married to her childhood friend in Vegas, clearly an impulsive move. Her sister Jamie Lynn gave more details surrounding this event in her book, and Jamie Lynn said she could sense that something was wrong when Britney came home for the holidays. Jamie Lynn describes Britney coming home for the holidays and acting very strange. Britney allegedly met up with Alexander on Christmas Eve before she took the women in the family on a tropical vacation. She wrote, quote, "Immediately I noticed that Britney was being secretive and keeping her distance. She wanted to be anywhere but with us. I was particularly hurt by her shunning." After the family got back from the trip, Britney flew to Vegas with friends, and Jamie Lynn knew something bad was going to happen. Jamie Lynn even remembers telling Britney not to get married. Then Britney just rolled her eyes and told her that she wouldn't. But as we know, just hours later Britney would in fact marry him. Jamie Lynn admitted she was embarrassed by the whole fiasco, though to keep up appearances she pretended at the time it was blown out of proportion. She added, "At that point, the chaos of my sister's life was just beginning." And at number 6, driving with infant on lap. In 2006, there was another incident with Britney and her new baby that actually caused the police to show up at her home to check on them. Paparazzi snapped Britney at a Malibu Starbucks driving out of the parking lot with her baby, Sean Preston, in her lap. This is not only illegal but very scary, as infants must ride in car seats to be as safe as possible on the road. When asked later about the incident, she blamed aggressive paparazzi. The Paparazzi made her pull out quickly because she felt threatened, but the police did not care about this explanation, and the LA County Sheriff's Department visited Spears' home to talk about the incident at the request of county child welfare authorities. Paparazzi also clapped back at the claims and said they were not threatening her in any way. The photo agency said, quote, "These pictures were taken in a very peaceful context in which photographers exhibited no aggressive behavior." Halfway number 5, the family's Hollywood team made all the decisions. Although we are putting most of the blame on the conservatorship on Britney's father Jamie, which should be the case, we need to discuss the role that Hollywood executives had in it too. These executives also made a lot of family decisions during Jamie Lynn's unexpected teen pregnancy. This is the reason that Britney's made a point to talk about the bad job done by her previous lawyers, along with the manipulation by Lou Taylor, who was Britney's business manager at the time of her conservatorship. It is widely believed that Taylor was the real architect of the conservatorship and gave Jamie the tools he needed to control Britney's life. Jamie Lynn herself even questioned who made a lot of the decisions during her time pregnant. Jamie Lynn also stated that the media has been twisting a lot of the quotes that the sisters have said, and the media are the ones putting the wedge between the whole family. In at number 4, almost dropped her son. This was another incident back in 2006 involving her newborn son. Only a week after the incident where she was caught driving with the baby on her lap, she tripped while walking in Manhattan and almost dropped her son, Sean Preston. She was leaving the Ritz-Carlton holding a drink in her right hand and Sean in her left as she maneuvered through the crowd of onlookers. Britney moved through the crowd and then she suddenly tripped. The baby's head then went backward as the hat flew off his head. Britney regained her balance and the baby seemed okay thanks to a quick reaction from the bodyguard. To make matters worse, it didn't look like she spilled a drop of the drink that she was holding in her other hand. It was reported that days later she had a breakdown over the incident. Since 2 of these similar incidents with her son happened so closely together, her parenting skills were further scrutinized by the public. In at number 3, attacks paparazzi with umbrella. One of Britney's worst moments in the press was in 2007 when she attacked a paparazzi with a green umbrella because she was so mad over all the attention she was getting. At this time, Britney was clearly going through a lot. She had just shaved her head in front of the public. It was all anyone was talking about. Britney was begging to be left alone and deal with her issues while not getting bombarded with paparazzi. But obviously that did not happen and she was hounded more than ever. At the time, her paparazzi attack became so famous that a Florida morning radio host even used photos from her breakdown on his Total Nutjobs billboards. Months after the incident, she apologized in a bizarre statement, writing, quote, "I apologize to the pop for a stunt that was done 4 months ago regarding an umbrella. I was preparing my character for a role in a movie where the husband never plays his part, so they switch places accidentally. I take all my roles very seriously and got a little carried away. Unfortunately, I didn't get the part." In at number 2, screaming at Sam Lufty. Sam Lufty is one of the most controversial people in the world of Britney Spears, and her entire family blames Sam for her eventual downfall in 2007. In 2008, the pair got in a screaming match over Britney's boyfriend at the time, paparazzo Adnan Ghalib, and this was one of many of their public fights back then. Apparently, Britney and Sam got in a huge fight and Britney refused to go into his house, so she called her boyfriend, Adnan Ghalib, to come get her at Sam's house. He came right over, but when he got there, Sam would not let him get Britney. The guards were under strict orders from Sam not to let him in. He tried calling each of her 6 cell phones and the house phone, but she did not answer. Years later, Britney would get restraining orders from both Sam Lufty and Adnan Ghalib. And finally, number 1, her career was almost threatened. Back in the 90s when Britney was becoming a star, there was a man in the shadows of all the most famous boy bands who ended up scamming all of them. The man was named Lou Pearlman, and he created both the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. He wanted Spears to join a girl group that he had been working on, but she was more set on being a solo artist at the time. Thankfully, she didn't want to be in a girl group, or she would have been working with Pearlman when the members of the boy bands realized that they were being scammed. He was later sued for fraud and misrepresentation by most of the pop acts that he worked with, on top of being behind one of the largest Ponzi schemes in history, and the members of the boy bands only received a fraction of the money that he owed them.